Welcome to the Alliant Energy Center in Madison, Wisconsin, the opening weekend for the 2020 Monsters of Destruction Tour presented by Mountain Dew and Weaver Auto Parts. 5 big, bad monster trucks get ready to go in wheelies, racing, and freestyle, including Doug Noelke in the tailgater against the grain, Devin Jones in Barbarian, the War Wizard, and this story coming in the debut of Joe Sylvester's Bad Habit Relapse out of Canfield, Ohio. The trucks would open things up with qualifying round action. We'll go right into that. Devin Jones in Barbarian was the first competitor up, and he laid down this blistering pass. Soil a little bit loose, but Jones seems to already have the track down Chicago style here. 14:19, that would be the fast time first run of the night, and it would hold up. He'll get the bye run going into the first round of racing as RJ Turner throws down the gauntlet, the wheelie competition. This would be good enough for victory. Big second hit right there, and he would get even wilder as this weekend went on. We will tell you about that as things develop, as we take another look at that awesome high-flying sky wheelie there on the second hit. Comes down hard, has to get on the binders to keep it out of the temporary pits here on the floor of the Alliant Energy Center. Now, unfortunately, that victory, and as wild as he was there, cost him. He was not able to get the truck ready for round one of racing. That would give Joe Sylvester in Bad Habit a bye run against the grain. Would go up against Doug Noelke and tailgater. Noelke would go on to the semifinal round to face Devin Jones in Barbarian, who had the bye run by virtue of being the fast qualifier. And that's where we go next. Devin Jones, the big Ford Super Duty out of Miami, Oklahoma, takes on the Madison, Wisconsin fan favorite out of Union, Missouri, Doug Noelke in the tailgater. 3D body, awesome machine right there. These fans were definitely pulling for Noelke when he came in, but I think Devin Jones earned himself a bunch of supporters after this performance. Seems to get the truck more and more dialed in each time around the track. That would put him through to the final round. It would be a Ford against Ford final. Joe Sylvester, Bad Habit, makes it out of the semifinal round with a victory and on into this championship race with Devin Jones. Sylvester getting the crowd pumped up as he rolls toward the starting line on the far side of the track. Meanwhile, on the pit side, Devin Jones winds up the Barbarian. Now, both of these guys were quick, but at this point, Jones seemed absolutely untouchable. Could Joey Sylvester put down a win in his first night of competition? Pretty close. In fact, Sylvester had a bit of an advantage until he checked up right there. Devin Jones would take the racing victory on night number one, getting way down the track there at the end. Awesome, awesome showing for the big Ford out of Oklahoma. So a good start. Of course, Joey making sure he gets up in front of our cameras here. He was going to make sure that Devin knew he was still in the building. Now, on to freestyle. RJ Turner in the War Wizard, picking up where he left off in the wheelie competition. Remember, cost himself a berth in the racing bracket when he broke coming out of the wheelie competition, but he definitely turned the crowd on with some big hits in this freestyle. Always solid on these smaller floors. He's able to really throw that truck around in a tight space. But right there, you see the smoke coming out. He just blew a steering line. Rear steering not working with him. That would cut the freestyle short, bring it to a premature end. Up next would be Joey Sylvester out of Canfield, Ohio, and the brand new Bad Habit. First look at this truck in a competitive freestyle, and he definitely had something for the crowd here in Madison. Truck looks real good. There's been a little conjecture about the weight of those big full-cleated Firestones. And Joey already looking to maybe take a little bit of weight out of the footwear on this truck. But still looking real good for an opening weekend. Really not having any problems with the truck at this point. Definitely a nimble giant as he works around this relatively small floor here at the Alliant Energy Center, doing a nice job here in front of the fans. Throws it down right there. Joey Sylvester taking the freestyle lead at this point in Bad Habit. There was one to go, though. He had already taken the racing championship on Friday night. Devin Jones out of Miami, Oklahoma, getting things started off flying high in the Barbarian. Using up every inch of track space. He's another one that can definitely perform in these small arenas, and he's doing a nice job here. Now, Devin laid down an awesome run, but the freestyle victory would go to Joey Sylvester in the Big Bad Habit 4. But Devin did not leave these fans out in the cold, literally set the truck on fire to end up the night here in Madison. We are not even close to done. Saturday night highlights coming up next when we come back. Joe Sylvester rolls Bad Habit out onto the floor of the Alliant Energy Center as we get into qualifying round action here on Saturday night. Devin Jones already came out for his qualifying run in the Barbarian, broke the transmission, put himself out of the racing bracket and the wheelie competition. This field was wide open and Joe Sylvester took full advantage of it. New fast time for the weekend at a 13:93 that would also see him #1, give him the bye into the first round. Now, normally we're only going to show you the fast qualifying run, but this next run was too good not to give you a look at. RJ Turner, a little rivalry developing here between RJ and Joe Sylvester. RJ, little bobble right there, but he's looking better and better each time around the track. He was not about to give Joey anything, and he pulled the trigger on this final jump. Little bit of loose dirt, but he's safe at home. Just avoided major contact with that skid steer. Lee Collins quick on the radio to make sure he didn't make contact pulling away, but check this out. Squeezes the right rear tire in between the door frame and the other double door at the far end of the Alliant Energy Center. So good looking out on the part of the track crew and RJ Turner. Good driving to keep that thing out of the wall. They have a second shot at Joe, though, in the wheelie competition. Rivalry continues. Joey going for the two-wheel move. Gets the popper. Works it into a moonwalk. Back up the ramp. Crowd loved that one. A little bit of a controversial finish to this wheelie competition, though. You'll see why. I said there's a little rivalry forming here between RJ Turner and the War Wizard and Joe Sylvester and Bad Habit. Joe went first. RJ had a chance to watch. RJ getting the truck in position to launch it. Check this out. Brand new Trey Myers paint job on that body, and it's not looking so pretty anymore. Passed vertical and then made this big hit. Body hit the ground twice right there. Some people thought RJ did better. Some people thought Joey did better. In the end, though, Joe Sylvester in Bad Habit Relapse gets the nod and the wheelie competition victory. In the meantime, the body comes off of the War Wizard machine. And this team would actually, by the end of this Saturday night competition, be very, very happy that they did so. We will tell you about that in just a bit. But we're going to jump back in to round one of racing. Joe Sylvester, fast qualifier, won the wheelie competition. This round one race did not go the way he was hoping it would, and it's not because he got beaten to the finish line. Against the grain, just broken input shaft, and Joey had to lock it up in a hurry. Probably left about maybe 6 to 10 inches between those two trucks. Against the grain with a broken transmission, and Joey just exploded the right front planetary when he bounced down. In fact, it looked like silver cornflakes pouring out of that thing when they took the cap off, so they got right to work to get the thing back into action. Against the grain team trying to get that transmission replaced, they were out of action, and the War Wizard team hard at work. You saw Doug NOELKE there helping them out, trying to make sure they're still in it for freestyle. Joey got the truck repaired, comes back out for a championship race here on Saturday night with the Madison fan favorite Doug NOELKE in the tailgater. Could Joe get a racing victory? He was second to Devin Jones on Friday night, but he knocked out Doug NOELKE here on Saturday night. Sizable advantage coming out of the last turn, and Joe Sylvester takes the night number 2 racing victory. So 3 out of 4 competitions at this point belong to Bad Habit. Fast qualifier, wheelie competition winner, and your racing champion. Could he parlay that momentum into a freestyle victory? That's where we go now. Doug NOELKE out of Union, Missouri in the tailgater, opening things up here in freestyle. Doug maintaining this truck very, very well over the years and laying down a classic to open things up. A very, very strong run out of the big machine.
That's right, it's time for milk and cookies.
From the Show Me State, Doug NOELKE with the gator chomp from the fans. And he salutes him right back again. Always a fan favorite. You see the support here in Madison, Wisconsin. And he laid down a good one to start things off. Up next, we told you they would be happy by the end of this night that they took that body off. This was an awesome run, by the way. Just going to sit back and let you watch these highlights. Big hang time, really working this floor well in a small space. There for a moment, got kind of wedged up over by the FMX landing ramp, but he is catching some big hang time, having to get on the brakes right there. He wasn't done yet. This was kind of a marathon freestyle. Unbeknownst to RJ, he has broken a kingpin. And over he goes. That is the result of that broken kingpin. A little flash fire for him right there. As you notice, the tire broke off on the high side, the right-hand side, which was up in the air when he landed. That thing was ready to come off, but the safety features on this truck doing their job. The tire didn't roll away. It stayed right with the truck, and RJ climbed out to the roar of the crowd here in Madison, Wisconsin. Take you for a ride with him real quick. Let you see what RJ went through there. Now, he was still trying to drive out of it, actually, but because the right rear tire came off, he actually drove over top of it, trying to keep the truck from high-siding. A lot of work to be done to get this truck ready for Sunday afternoon, though. Sitting over in the corner now, Joey Sylvester brings Bad Habit out to wind things up here on Saturday night, trying to knock out RJ Turner, but it was going to be tough after the run that RJ laid down. Again with the two-wheel moves, gets the popper, does a nice job, tried to walk it a little ways. Still getting used to how the truck feels, not a bad run at all, and the crowd loved it, but the nod had to go to RJ Turner. Even Joe knew it as he salutes the crumpled mass over in the corner of the Alliant Energy Center. Another look at it right there, and you can see once that wheel came off, there was no driving out of a rollover. RJ Turner tearing it up here in Madison. One more day to go, and a lot of work stood in front of this team. They did, however, get it back together, and that's coming up next. Stay with us. Qualifying round action Sunday afternoon already wrapped up as Brad Shippert rolls out onto the track to kick off the wheelie competition, and against the grain with this strong, high-flying sky wheelie. Refreshed transmission in that truck, and he is looking awesome. To start things off as Doug NOELKE in the tailgater, trying to one him up. He looked real good too, but it wasn't quite enough to take the lead away from him. It would be RJ Turner changing the dynamic a little bit. Wasn't quite happy with the results of the Saturday night wheelie competition, so he decided to challenge Joe Sylvester in the popper department. First time ever for War Wizard. It would be enough to make it 2 for 3 in the wheelie competition. War Wizard taking the win on Sunday afternoon. Now we move on to round 1 of monster truck racing. Brad Shippert again with that refreshed transmission, taking on Doug NOELKE in the tailgater, who is well aware of the capabilities of both of these trucks. Little bit quicker in the final turn for Brad Shippert. You'd have to call that one an upset as Brad moves on to the semifinal round, but he would take on the fast loser, who is none other than Doug NOELKE in tailgater. So Doug, by virtue of being the fast loser, gets a semifinal round berth. Could he parlay that into a final round berth? Or could Brad Shippert make it 2 for 2 against Doug NOELKE in the tailgater? We would see, as the two staged up opposite of where they had started in the first round. Brad Shippert and Doug NOELKE off the line real strong. This again would come down to the final turn. Little bobble, a little wide for both trucks, but NOELKE recovered quicker and was able to go to the final round, where he would take on the winner of the Barbarian Bad Habit matchup from the semifinal round. Barbarian got the measure of Joe Sylvester, and Devin Jones was definitely the man to beat in racing on this weekend in Madison, Wisconsin. A lot of people said Joey might not have gotten that win had Devin been in the field, but Joey won it in the dirt. That's on paper, so it doesn't matter. Devin would have to earn that pride back on Saturday afternoon. Barbarian almost missed that second ramp, kept it just legal. Got himself through to take the win. He almost missed the last ramp, actually. He was riding the razor's edge to get him around this course, but he was so fast on this weekend in Madison. A great showing for that Big Dad Ford out of Miami, Oklahoma. Now, we go on into the final freestyle of the weekend. Brad Shippert against the grain, who, by the way, was talking about trying some of those two-wheel moves that everybody else was doing. Didn't quite get a chance to do it, though. It's a little bit crazy in the donut department. They decided to shut him down right there before he side-slapped the wall. He'd make a couple more hits, but it wasn't enough to net him the victory. Doug Noelke and Tailgater. He was ready to burn it down, and oh boy, did Doug Noelke ever burn it down. Some of the best donuts we saw all weekend long came out of Doug Noelke and Tailgater. In fact, the best donuts we saw, but now you can see the machine smoking a little bit out of the back end. I believe that's steam, actually. It's getting a little bit hot. Another marathon freestyle here in Madison, Wisconsin. Another set of donuts. Wrap this run up, much to the delight of the crowd. A little theatrics there with all that smoke and steam coming out of the back end of that truck as Devin Jones takes to the track to try to knock Doug Noelke down a notch. Devin Jones really running this truck hard in this freestyle. Keep in mind, he lit the thing on fire on Friday night, and he got into the game trying the two-wheel moves. Be interesting to see these guys each develop that as they go on, but Devin definitely one up the first two guys with some big hang time. Now, Joe Sylvester, bad habit, did not have the Sunday afternoon he was hoping for, trying to get himself back center stage in the bad habit. Had not won a competition on this Sunday afternoon. Had a great Saturday night, had a pretty good Friday night. He won it back on top of the field by the end of this freestyle, and he did not disappoint. Joe trying to put it back on the nose. Didn't quite work out the way he wanted it to. But you can see that high-octane coffee and blazing hood starting to come off. There it goes. Putting the first scratches on that brand new body. That would, however, give him a little more breathing room. Watch this. Way over on the nose. Let that one stand up there for a little while, and that definitely got the crowd going. And then a classic reverse launch over the popper ramp. Joe was not done yet. Couple more moves left in this big Ford. Hood's gone. As long as he doesn't run over, and I don't think he cares what happens. He starts digging his way down to the concrete floor. Joe Sylvester wrapping up an awesome freestyle in bad habit. First weekend out with a new truck, and he had a pretty good one at that. But RJ Turner, not about to let Joe have anything. Starts off with some big hang time.
My goodness.
Getting a little bit too close for comfort with Sergeant Smash right there. Now, this freestyle was not as long as Joe Sylvester's freestyle, but RJ definitely gave the crowd something to think about. All the way over. It stood there for a second and then back down. All four big feet. RJ actually started taking inventory before the thing even came all the way back over. Very calm at the wheel of that truck as we look at it a second time. Bounce right there, broke the right front planetary. In fact, RJ tried to get the truck back on the track for a few more moves, but that was all she wrote. He ran that thing until it didn't have any more as we go for a ride with him. See how well that roll cage holds up safety. As always, priority one in monster truck competition. What a way to start off the 2020 Monsters of Destruction. You gotta go out and see this thing live if it comes to a town near you. We have had a great time here in Madison. We'll be headed to DeQuoin, Illinois next. Thanks for joining us. We will see you next time.